All right, I have a feeling, I'm going on record right now, I have a feeling that we're close. Hi everybody, it's me, Katie. Welcome back to my channel where it is all Revolutionary War all the time. And today we are in Peabody, Massachusetts on the search for the lost grave of a militiaman who was killed in the battles of Lexington and Concord on April 19th, 1775. This is the second time that I have tried to locate his grave, which is somewhere out there. Let's see if we can find it. So on April 19th, 1775, the first shots of the American Revolution were fired on Lexington Green, which is about 16 miles southwest of here. We are in Peabody, Massachusetts, which in 1775 was actually part of the town of Danvers, Massachusetts. And in the early morning hours of April 19th, alarm riders were traveling all through the Massachusetts countryside, alerting people that the British Army was out and about. They had left Boston on an expedition out to Concord, Massachusetts, in order to seize military supplies that had been stockpiled. So as the news spread throughout the countryside that the British were coming, local towns responded and they sent their militia companies to the Lexington Concord area, and Danvers was one of those towns. And in fact, Danvers holds the distinction of being the farthest flung town that actually sent men into battle on April 19th, 1775. In addition to being the farthest town that sent men into battle, Danvers also lost the second highest number of men, coming in second only to Lexington. Only Lexington itself suffered more casualties than Danvers in the battles of Lexington and Concord. Danvers lost 7 men in the battles of Lexington, Concord, and Menotomy. And I add Menotomy because that is modern day Arlington, Massachusetts. And it's not Lexington, it's not Concord, but it's a town that was on the British retreat. So on April 19th, after the British withdrew from Concord, after their kind of unsuccessful attempt to seize those military supplies, they retreated and attempted to get back to the safety of Boston, passing through the village of Menotomy along the way. And Menotomy became a hotspot on April 19th. More men were killed in the village of Menotomy on both the British and the American sides than anywhere else on April 19th. And that was where the 7 militiamen from Danvers entered the Battle of Lexington and Concord and were killed. So we are coming up on the part where I got lost the last time I was here. I came here several weeks ago in order to find the lost grave of one of the militiamen who were killed on April 19th from the town of Danvers. I couldn't find it. I got too scared. I couldn't leave the path, and I never found it. But today I'm back. And I am not giving up today until I find that grave. We're about to veer off the path up here, and I'll show you why it got so scary. But anyway, the Danvers militia companies entered the battles at Menotomy, as did militia companies of many other towns in the area. And so as the British column was retreating, hundreds, probably thousands, probably a couple thousand militiamen from all of the local towns also converged in Menotomy. So it was there the heaviest combat of April 19th took place. Okay, so this is the really kind of scary, the scary area. I did not venture any further than this spot because of these. I saw these pipes. I thought it was terrifying, and I couldn't go on. That's the path that leads to the grave. So who is this militiaman? Who are we looking for today? So we are looking for the grave of Henry Jacobs, and he was buried in a family plot out here somewhere in these woods. He was one of the ones whose body made it back to his hometown of Danvers, but not all of the militiamen who were killed in the Battle of Menotomy made it back. Some of those men were actually buried in a mass grave in modern day Arlington, Massachusetts. But the bodies of the Danvers men, the 7 Danvers men that were killed, did make it back here. So Henry Jacobs had enlisted in Captain Samuel Epps' company of militia here in Danvers, and he was serving with his brother John Jacobs on the day he was killed. Henry was 21 years old. John was 19. I see it! Yeah, I do. All right, this is it. This is it. It's right down this path. I see a rise of land, and I see like a tilted gravestone. I know it. Wow, yes, I see a sign. I see 2 signs. Oh, yeah. So again, this is the Jacobs Family Cemetery in Peabody, Massachusetts, which in 1775 was Danvers, Massachusetts. Small family cemetery, at least 250 years old. Let's go check it out. Wow, there are a lot of fallen trees and all sorts of obstacles. There's the sign for Jacobs Cemetery. All right, now evidently I'm going to have to climb over this. Oh, no. Okay. All right. So here it is. Wow, this is the cemetery that I tried once before unsuccessfully to find. As I said, 7 militiamen from Danvers were killed on April 19th, Henry Jacobs being one of them, and he was the only one who was buried in this spot. The others were buried. I've been to 4 of the other graves, which are all in an actual burying ground that's in Salem, Massachusetts. And they do have stones, which the city of Peabody requested in order to honor the service of the militiamen from their town who were killed on April 19th. Wow. Oh, yeah. Wow. This tall, tilted grave is, I think, what caught my eye from way back there. I could kind of see it. It's really nice to see that there are 2 American flags here at his grave site. Wow. So very careful. We have to be very careful. You really have to watch your step here. There are a lot of shattered gravestones here that you could easily stumble over. A really broken one is right there. And there are some other like flat ones, other like shattered pieces that I see scattered all around here. Whew, you can really fall on these things. Wow. You really can't make out what the stones say, but, oh my God. This one says John Jacobs. Looks like a death date of 1858. John Jacobs, who was Henry's 19-year-old brother who served alongside him on the 19th, I think passed away in 1826. So I'm not positive that this John Jacobs is him. But none of the other stones here are really legible. So it's uncertain where in this plot John Jacobs could be buried. So Henry Jacobs, he was 21 years old when he was killed during the battles of Lexington Concord and Menotomy. He's been here almost 250 years. The day after the battles of Lexington and Concord, some of the bodies of men from Essex County who were killed on the 19th were gathered up and they were placed in a wagon. That wagon came back to Essex County, again, traversing that 16-mile distance in order to bring the bodies of the 7 men home. Interestingly, there's an account of that wagon making its way back to Danvers. In 1775, a 10-year-old girl named Joanna Mansfield saw the wagon passing her house, and her dad was Ebenezer Mansfield, who also served in the Battle of Menotomy. They were from Lynn, Massachusetts, which is a coastal town in Essex County that responded to the Lexington alarm. So her dad, Ebenezer Mansfield, would have served probably roughly alongside these men in the Battle of Menotomy, where they were killed. Years and years later, decades later, as an older woman, Joanna Mansfield looked back on her recollections of April 19th, and she remembered the wagon with the bodies of the men in the back, and she recalled that all of the men were wearing gray homespun stockings. I think that's a very poignant detail from the day, because Henry Jacobs was one of those men in the back of a wagon wearing those gray homespun stockings. So Henry Jacobs Jr., Private Colonel Pickering's regiment, again, he was in Captain Samuel Epps' Danvers Company. Minuteman, Revolutionary War, April 19th, 1775. If you would like to know more about the Danvers militiamen and where in Menotomy they were killed and the circumstances of the battle, check out this video I did on the Jason Russell House, which is where the Danvers Company took position along the British retreat on April 19th and engaged in battle. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you'll consider liking this video or subscribing so that you can continue to come along on our historical action adventures. Thank you all so much for watching, and see you in the next video.